Hello guys, and welcome to Urban Madness Workshop. Today I have to change a belt in that. Alright, so I'm going to start by taking the kick starter off. Okay, then I've got to take off the actual cover. My own fault. I ran this bike kind of hard over the weekend and shredded the belt. One thing you want to be careful of when you're doing these is that all the bolts that go in these, they're all different lengths. I'm gonna be last cotton picking one of them. Well, there's like 2 or 3 that are same length. So you want to make sure you put them in the proper place when you put it all back together. Whoop. As I beat up the camera. This end of it's always a little bit on the fun side. There we go. Ooh, that's some carnage. Check that carnage out. Oops. Yeah, I would say that this belt disintegrated. So I got a lot of cleanup to do. I got to clean it all out of here. Hopefully it didn't hurt the variator, but yeah, it looks like the rollers are all messed in there. So I'm going to take it all apart and clean it up. I'm going to show you why you don't want to use a Chinese belt. This belt had roughly 2,000 miles on it, but it was a Chinese. It's the belt that came with the scooter. I actually had a Gates power link in it, but I had a vibration. I was trying to troubleshoot it, so I put this belt in to see if it was the belt, and ran it that way for about 300 miles, and I shredded it. So give you an idea. My Gates belt looks pretty good. I'm going to put it back on, and then probably in about 3 or 4 weeks I'm going to change it with a new belt. But for now, that'll get me back on the road, and I know the belt's good, although it's got 4,000 miles on it. Like I said, this one didn't even have 2,000 on it, actually. It had about, probably about 1,500 or so on it. And like I said, it just shredded. It made a mess. I had to pull the clutch off of it to get all the pieces out of the clutch. Some chunks in the cover. Some chunks down here. The variator, I got to pull it, because it messed the weights up in it. I got to inspect it, make sure it's going to be alright, and then I can start putting it back together. Luckily I've got enough spare parts laying around here that if I did damage the variator, I can just change it out. But that is why you don't run a Chinese belt in these things. Alright. Anytime you shred a belt in one of these things, or use the impact wrench to loosen that up, you need to inspect the variator. My variator faces look alright, but here's the thing that's going to be ugly. I don't know if you can see that, but all the weights are all cockeyed. They're not in the ramps, so I got to check that out and make sure that nothing got ruined. Okay, here you can see I just carefully removed the plate. You can see how they're all cockeyed in there. So now I got to take them out and take a look at them, make sure they're all right, and then put it all back together the right way, and it should be okay. How the weight should sit in it. Like I said, I'm still using rollers. These are 12-gram rollers. I'll eventually go to slides, but for now I'm just running 12-gram rollers in it. But it gives you an idea of how they should look when they're sitting in the the variator correctly. And then we're going to put the ramp plate back on. It just slides down on these pins. Just like that. And it's pretty much ready to go back in the bike. It is kind of a mess in here. I'll probably spray it down with some brake parts clean, see if I can't get all this dust to shoot on out of here, put it all back together and clean it up. And don't think I really need to show you guys that particular step, but that's going to be what I'm doing next. It's kind of hard to do it with one hand, but like I said, I want to clean everything out. The next part is to slide this on there, holding the back. I'm going to hold the back, and it'll go on with the dowel, like that. There she is, she's on. Okay, now I need to put the clutch back in place. Alright, here goes the clutch. Just like that, all the way home. I'm going to put the bell on. Try and do this with one hand. Put the bell on, just like that. Washer, and then the nut. Somebody's got to hit the brake. And that's all there is to that. That's on. Okay, now it's time for the belt. I'm going to get it in a sheave. Oh, stupid hose. Alright, now, what I do to make this all work right is I actually open the sheave with my hand and pull the belt down into it. I pull it down as far as I can. So I'm going to squeeze this here. Actually, you need both hands to squeeze this, and then the belt will fall into it. I'm going to squeeze it. I don't know if there's enough light, but right here, I'm going to squeeze this in here, and then the belt will come in. And you want just a little bit of slop when it goes over that front pulley. If you can see that, it's down in that pulley fairly far, so that when I pull it forward, it's got a bit of room between here and here. That's so when I tighten the front plate back on, the variator, right here, I'm sure I get it tight enough, because this will close down like this, and it makes sure that that's up against that sliding dowel that's in there. Again, the washer. And yes, I do use an impact wrench on this. A lot of people say don't. I do, because it's a pain in the butt if it backs off. See? I've got all this belt slop in here. That's what I want. Okay, there we go. Now we're actually going to fire it up. Make sure it's working right. Okay, next, when you're tightening these down, you want them really snug, but you don't want them overly tight. I use 1/4 inch drive ratchets and stuff just to make sure that I don't over tighten it, because the handle on a 1/4 inch ratchet's an awful lot smaller than one on a 3/8 inch drive ratchet. So it keeps me from over torquing. Don't get me wrong, you can still over torque, but it makes it to where it's a little easier to get them right. Oh yeah, just tighten that one on the air cleaner, put these 2 screws in, put the Kickstarter on, and